So I went to this farmer's market a couple of times. This last Thursday.
Which one over at
Yeah. Well, this last Thursday, you know, the area for a car show.
Yeah.
There's one guy out there with this car.
One guy?
And then on Wednesday, I go to the one by Gatto's. That's packed. That's
Gatto's
good.
every Wednesday. There's
Yeah, I've gone there last 2 Wednesdays. I want to go
West,
again.
The West lot is
Yeah, I'm gonna make it a meeting place.
Somebody
kind of
told me
my own
that
neighbors. Hey,
there's a whole bunch of car shows all over the place.
well, there are, but
Frankfurt.
Lamont's got a gigantic.
well, I used to go to Lamont on Wednesday,
Thank you very much.
but I'd rather drive here because you go to Lamont.
Thank you.
It's so jammed over there that
You don't need
if you
a
don't
soap?
get there real early, you're gonna park a mile away. I think Lamont's got over us, though. When you go to their, I think they got all these restaurants and shops that people walk around. It's not just parking on the restaurant.
Oh,
Frankfurt has that too. But now Frankfurt killed theirs. They used to have it on Nebraska Street. Now they don't want any of the old cars parked
maybe
there.
we get some restaurants in Frankfurt. We can do this.
Well, that's true. That's true. We'll see. See what kind of interest we're receiving. You know? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you just got to keep putting it out there. That's all.
Yes, it got close. Came time to make the commitment, and they said no.
Yeah. Well, I really love the original plan that related Midwest had. All the guys from
John, how you doing, buddy? Happy birthday, man.
the original plan, they were never.
Was it a good one?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I thought it was good. What's up, Big Daddy? How are you? Good to see you.
I could see they would have had a
Hey,
sidewalk,
Paul.
they would have kill winds and stuff
Yeah,
like
it's
that,
a
you
day
know.
off,
Just a zamparello, che si dice?
Was it Sunday?
Exactly.
How you doing, pal? Good.
Yeah, I'm about out of juice too. That's a good idea. I said I'm about out of juice too.
Just throwing whatever I can.
Right this time of day, huh?
Oh, wait.
Nick, how you doing, pal? Good, buddy. Good to see you.
Good morning. Afternoon.
No, it's not.
John, you put there?
Nope.
I'll get it. Where's it?
I think it's over here.
Check it.
I agree.
There it goes. Yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
So here's. So. Every. So you do not. Do you know how to say no? Do you do it? So sometimes you need to say no, so that you can take it and give it to somebody else. Because you have to take a look at the bigger picture, because there's no important stuff that you have to take care of and higher detail. I know you know all that, but the same thing, you can push them like that to somebody else.
It's all right. I'm almost done. I think it's gonna go south.
As much as it can, but up to somewhere like about 7 or 8 points, greatest it's wasteman after wasteman.
You red, Paul? You want to turn them on? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Orland Park Plan Commission meeting, July 24, 2018. Before we begin, if everybody would stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Just as a reminder, in case everybody has a cell phone with them and they might have forgot to turn it on vibe or turn it off, do that and spare yourself the embarrassment. I should know it happened to me. Okay. Well, first of all, I'll make a motion to open this public hearing.
Second.
Motion made in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good. Okay. The first issue at hand is the approval of the minutes of the July 10th, 2018 Plan Commission meeting.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman? Move the minutes be approved as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Schuessler, seconded by Commissioner Zamparelli. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All ayes. Thank you. Entertain a motion to, actually,
That's cool.
entertain a motion to continue public hearing number 2018-0395, Old Mill Lot Consolidation, lots 49 and 50. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Commissioner Aubin, seconded by Commissioner Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So
Mr.
moved.
Chairman, what's the status on that?
I have been given no updates on that.
What's the status
before-
on that?
Before we go any further, if anybody's going to come up to the microphone and speak on any issue, I need to swear you in. So if everybody would, who thinks they might speak, I'll swear you in all at one time if you would stand. And then when you do come up to speak, I will ask for your name and address. So you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this commission? Thank you.
Commissioner Schuessler, did you ask the question?
Yeah, the question was, what is the status?
So staff did an analysis with around, I don't know, 5 or 6 other options. We looked at the variance option that you had mentioned, which staff and legal counsel believes is kind of a slippery slope for the village to be allowing variances without hardships. We've looked at changing the process, which doesn't really help him at this point, making consolidation for small lots like this to be easier, which is something that is on our list now for maybe a future text, like amendment updates. And then what we've kind of settled on at this point is that I believe that we're actually going to do a text amendment to the code. We actually published for it right after the last Plan Commission meeting because we were bringing text amendments anyways. And we're working on kind of trying to work out the wording in the amendment section to make sure that there's no major unintended consequences to a code change. And but I believe it will be in front of you August 14th.
That answers a question I was going to say. Since we've continued this, I was going to ask, what is the likelihood that we would be able to deal with at the ensuing meeting? But you're saying August the 14th?
Well, so what would come before you on August 14th is the amendment to change the code. It would allow, it's like a form of allowance within the perimeter fences in our fence code section. And so what he would be able to do after it goes to committee and board is literally go get a permit. It would be permitted as of right.
Okay.
And what we wanted to do for now is to leave the item live, his
Fine.
item live, because just in case something happens, I wanted to
Okay.
keep his consolidation live.
Makes sense.
So we'll just continue it until such time as we feel comfortable withdrawing it.
That's what I'm saying, that's why they
Yeah,
continue.
good.
Any other
It made
questions?
sense to continue it then. Did you have anything else, Commissioner Schuessler?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Like to step up? Would you, for the record, even though you were here before, would you state your name and address, please?
My name's Pat Nolan. I live at 10648 Deer Trail Court. And my question is, if that be the case, the earliest I would be able to get with my fence company would be September 18th. It's over 2 months from today. I mean, it's, we're going to be running into the rainy season. Depends on the weather then. I mean, we might as well curb this till next spring. I mean, it seems like an awful long time just for a fence.
That is the process, and when you do it, of course, I know we're always subject to the weather. Although the last couple of years, we've had some pretty mild falls.
Could I get a temporary permit or something?
That's not for this committee to issue that. But, you know, whether you go through the process or decide to, on your end, table it till next spring, that's your prerogative, but we can't issue a temporary permit. Staff? Question for staff? Could somebody address Mr. Nolan's?
So, sir, the process we have is, we have to bring it to you first, and then we have to take it to the development committee. But the final authority of approval is by the Board of Trustees. Until that does not happen, there's just no mechanism we have to issue even a temporary permit. We do not have a mechanism to help that out.
A temporary permit makes the assumption that the code could be changed, and we can't assume that.
Under the current code we have, we cannot even issue a temporary permit because the current code does not allow that change, or does not allow that permit.
Gotcha.
So for us to allow any type of permit, we have to change our book before we can issue any kind of
Yes,
permit.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Hoda. Hopefully, we'll get this done expeditiously on the 14th, and hopefully the weather will agree with you.
September 18th would be the closest I could
Yeah, well,
get.
hopefully the weather will agree with
But
you.
we're going to leave it lie,
Yes,
the open, just in case that doesn't happen.
yes,
Okay?
yes, we can't issuing a temporary permit, as I said.
I
is-
built 2
is-
houses in Orland Park.
You
I'm
what?
general to myself. I'm not a builder.
Right,
I had an easier time putting up 2 houses
Mm-hmm.
than I did trying to get a fence.
yeah. Well,
Just-
well, you've lived in Orland Park, and if you've built a couple of houses, and you have some awareness of what our codes are, or before you do something, where you can see the codes, and it's public information. And hopefully, we can get this done expeditiously as possible.
Okay.
I appreciate your patience, however.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your help.
Thanks for coming again.
We'll see you. Thanks.
The next agenda item, I move to open the public hearing for agenda item 2018-0294, Verizon Wireless Monopole on 15100 80th Avenue, special use permit with modifications.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, okay. I would ask staff if there were notices published for this in confirmation. Confirmation notices were published and mailed?
Yes, they were. The petitioner has submitted the notarized affidavit for tonight.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Would staff like to make a presentation?
Yes.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So good evening. Tonight, staff will be presenting the special use permit with modifications for the Verizon Wireless Monopole, case number 2018-0294. Here's just an overview of what the project consists of. The petitioner requests approvals to construct and maintain a new 75-foot monopole with an overall height of 90 feet and a 584 square foot leased area to house Verizon Wireless equipment on the west side of the existing Orland Fire Protection District Station 2 building with modifications for setback requirements. The proposed monopole will be replacing the existing 40-foot lattice tower with an overall height of 55 feet. The project's located at 15100 80th Avenue. The overall lot size is 24,339 square feet. However, Verizon Wireless will just be utilizing a 584 square foot lease area. The parcel is located in the Silver Lake South Planning District of the Comprehensive Plan and is noted as a community and institutional use. It's in the R3 residential zoning district, and no rezoning request is being presented tonight. Sorry. The existing land use is institutional, as the Orland Fire Protection District Station 2 building is currently on that site with an existing wireless communication facility. It's accessible off of 80th Avenue, which is a minor arterial street under the Cook County Highway Department's jurisdiction. A special use permit is required for this wireless communication facility. Section 6-311 of the Land Development Code notes that wireless communication facilities are an allowable use on institutional parcels in any zoning district only via a special use permit. The petitioner requests two modifications from the Land Development Code, which consists of a reduction of the side yard setback from 13 feet 0 inches to 11 feet 6 inches on the west side of the property, and a reduction of the residential setback from 500 feet to 99 feet. The development process is underway. We've already completed the petition and planning review. Due process is in review. Public notification is complete. We're here tonight at Plan Commission and are planning to attend the committee and Board of Trustees meeting, depending on the result of tonight and those nights. We would follow through with final engineering review, building permits, construction and inspections, and then project closeout. Okay, so here's just an overall of the Silver Lake South Planning District and the comprehensive plan. Lots of residential in this district. The Verizon wireless monopole will be located on the intersection of 151st and 80th Avenue. It is that small blue rectangle kind of in the center of the screen. To the east is the Faith United Methodist Church. To the west is an assisted living building currently called American House. It used to be the Autumn Leaves building. Boley Farm is in the vicinity, and then there's residential to the north and south. Here is just an current aerial of the existing conditions. The large blue rectangle is the parcel that it'll be located on, and then that small blue rectangle is where Verizon Wireless will be leasing. As noted, the proposed project is in the R3 residential zoning district. To the east, west, and south is also R3, and just to the north is R2, followed by unincorporated residential, just past that R2 zoning district. Okay, so here's the overall site plan so you can get acclimated with the site. To the north is 151st Street, and we already talked about this, but the 80th Avenue is on the east side. The front of the building faces 80th Avenue, so all of the Verizon Wireless proposed improvements are located on the rear of the building. The project consists of a new monopole, the removal of the existing lattice tower, and then the installation of ground equipment within the proposed lease area. The small red square is the proposed monopole. It is 75 feet tall, and it's adjacent to the existing lattice tower, which is this square right here. That is 40 feet tall, and it will be removed once the monopole is fully constructed. The leased area is 584 square feet, and it contains the proposed monopole along with all of the ground equipment that will support the antenna array on the monopole. The ground equipment consists of a standby generator, battery cabinet, equipment cabinet, H-frame for mounting equipment, and a telco box. The entire lease area is surrounded by an 8-foot vinyl fence with gate and lock to match the existing fence on site. Okay, we'll take a look at the elevation. On the left is the existing conditions, and on the right is what is proposed. The existing lattice tower is 40 feet tall with an overall height of 55 feet. And you can see that the Orland Fire Protection District equipment that is currently located on the lattice tower will be relocated on the proposed monopole. It'll be placed in two separate locations. The first one is that 35-foot elevation, and then the second is at the top of the 75-foot monopole, extending upward to the 90-foot maximum height. Verizon Wireless will also be co-locating on the monopole at the 67-foot elevation, and it will consist of 9 antennas, 18 remote radio units, and 4 RACAP junction boxes. The lease area is just to the south of the monopole. The petitioner will be providing a $2,500 fee in lieu of landscaping, as the Orland Park Fire District has just completed some recent landscape improvements to the site, so we felt that no additional landscaping would be required at this time. The petitioner has provided a photo simulation of what the tower will look like, or what the elevation will look like of the site once the monopole is installed. So the top picture is existing, the bottom picture is what it will look like once the monopole is installed, minus the lattice tower. That's going to be removed once construction is complete. Okay, then we'll just go through the special use standards and what the petitioner has noted, and then also staff's thoughts on it. For standard number 1, the proposed project will foster, this is the petitioner's opinion, the proposed project will foster the shared use of facilities by both private and governmental agencies. As well, the current tower cannot support any additional co-locations, so the monopole will help with that. The staff believes that the proposed project meets the vision of the village's comprehensive plan. For standard number 2, the petitioner notes that there's already a lattice tower on the proposed property, and that is in use by the Orland Fire Protection District. Lattice towers are no longer allowed under the existing tower ordinance. The staff believes that the proposed monopole is consistent with the existing character in the immediate vicinity, as a tower currently exists on site. For standard number 3, petitioner noted that since there's already a tower here, the adverse effect, if any, will be minimized compared to a totally new tower on a property in an area that does not already have a tower. Staff believes that the adverse effect of the proposed monopole is minimized, as a tower already exists in this location. For standard number 4, the petitioner has provided a study on the impact of towers on residential values. The study noted that comparative analysis and interviews with the property owners concluded that there is no negative impact on residential properties. The staff does not have an expert opinion on this standard. For standard number 5, the proposed replacement tower is an unmanned facility, therefore it will not place any additional burden on the public services or the utility infrastructure of the area. Staff agrees that the proposed monopole will not have a change to current public facilities and service capabilities. For standard number 6, petitioner noted that the small site is fully developed with a fire station building, parking lot, and existing tower in the rear yard of the fire station complex. Staff believes that the proposed project meets standard for lot coverage. For standard number 7, the petitioner noted that they will take any necessary application to fulfill this requirement, and staff does not have an expert opinion on this standard. And then finally, for standard number 8, the petitioner noted that the proposed replacements of the existing lattice tower with a monopole will comply with all ordinances of the Village of Orland Park, as well as all building codes adopted by the village. Village staff has noted that the petitioner has consistently been willing to work with staff to achieve the development project, the village's development standards. In addition to the special use standards, there are 2 modifications that are proposed on site. The first is a reduction of the side yard setback from 13 feet to 11 feet 6 inches on the west side of the property. This dimension is taken from the west face of the monopole to the west property line, and it is necessary because due to the staging of the construction. So the existing lattice tower will have to remain constructed until the monopole is complete, so that they can move the Orland Fire Protection District equipment to the new monopole with minimal downtime. But then also, we talked about possibly relocating it just south of the existing tower, but since the new foundation will require deep caissons to be built, the proximity to an existing building is undesirable as it may cause some structural integrity issues. So the proposed location is the optimal position for the monopole. The second modification is a reduction to the residential setback from 500 feet to 99 feet. This measurement is taken from the west face of the monopole to the existing residential building in the assisted living structure that's called American Houses. This setback is currently existing for the existing tower on site. So the lattice tower does not meet the minimum 500-foot setback either. So it's a modification that's already existing on site. Staff is recommending approval of the special use permit for the wireless communication facility located at 15100 80th Avenue with the following modifications. Side yard setback, section 6-311 G3B, a reduction of the side yard setback from 13 feet 0 inches to 11 feet 6 inches on the west side of the property, and a residential setback, section 6-311 G3D, a reduction of the residential setback from 500 feet to 99 feet. This concludes the staff presentation.
Well, thank you for a thorough presentation. Let it be noted for the record that the petitioner was presented with 8 standards, responded to all 8 of them, and that the responses were accepted by staff. Is the petitioner present? Would the petitioner like to make any additional comments or have any questions or anything? No, thank you. Do any of the commissioners have any comments? Commissioner Schuessler?
I have 2 questions for the petitioner. Could you come up to the microphone?
Did I swear you in, sir?
I did. Yeah, when
Yeah, okay.
you swore the bunch.
You did everybody
one time.
Okay, so if you would just, for the record, give your name and address.
Dennis Paul, Dolan Realty Advisors. Office is 144 Lockwood Avenue, Suite 200, Webster Groves, Missouri, 63119.
Thank you.
Is the monopole going to be painted? If so, what color?
No, it's not going to be painted. It will be the natural galvanized, which will be shiny for about 12 months, but will weather to kind of a neutral gray, more like typical sky.
How much wind can this pole sustain before it topples?
You know, I can't answer that exactly, but we do have an engineering report in.
Yeah, I couldn't understand it though. I used to be an attorney, not an engineer.
It's at least 90-mile-an-hour straight line winds with a quarter-inch of ice, but it could be higher because the standards change frequently, and we're up to like standard G now or H, so they're always getting stronger.
Staff has a statement on it?
Yeah, a final engineering review will be completed on this site once we obtain approval. So CBEL, our consulting engineer, will perform a structural review of the entire site and give us their approval or denial. And obviously, we won't issue any petitions if it doesn't meet the structural requirements.
So what was the height again, 95 feet?
The height of the monopole is 75 feet. It has an overall height of 90 feet once the Orland Fire Protection District equipment is located at the top.
So even if it went over, it wouldn't hit the autumn leaves or whatever they're calling that place now?
Well, typically, I might add, on a monopole tower, they're designed about 2/3 of the way up to kind of fold over on themselves. Like
Oh, yeah, I remember
one of those
that.
soap
Okay.
straws, releases all of the tension and pressure on the footing, which is about 30 feet in the ground to begin with. So no, I don't think it'll get them anywhere near anything other than the Orland Fire Department District building.
Okay. Well, I think it's a positive move to replace a lattice tower with a monopole. I think it's a positive move to have a private-public partnership like this because it, if there is a need for another tower, it eliminates the necessity of adding a tower. We're just replacing an existing tower. And it gives a little revenue to the fire district. So I think it's a positive move. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. you, Commissioner Schuessler. Commissioner Shalaby?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have nothing further to add.
Thank you. Commissioner Paul?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick question. On the residential setback, I mean, going from 500, I mean, I'm assuming that the previous tower met that requirement before the senior living was built? Is that the case?
So that tower was installed when it's probably about 35 years old, but existing residential in the area is at that age, if not older. So it was installed when residential was existing.
So
It's always been
it met
a
the
modification.
500 feet at that time, I would assume, because there was nothing else there.
Possibly.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Other than that, I mean, we want our phones to work. They don't work without the towers, so this is,
have to have the red light.
yeah, I got no problem with this.
Thank you, Commissioner Paul. Commissioner Zamparelli?
Actually, just one quick question. Is there a light on the top of the tower?
No, it's not required by FAA.
What's the height for the requirement?
90 feet, 200 feet to be lighted. Or less if there's an airport nearby, and we've run our airport studies, and there's, at this point, no requirement for lighting.
That's all? Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Zamparelli. Commissioner Murphy?
I have no further comments or questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Aubin?
We've done a bunch of these before. I don't have a problem. Thank you, sir.
I have no further questions. Good presentation. I would entertain a motion at this time.
Mr. Chairman,
Commissioner Aubin?
I move, let's say, regarding case 2018-0294 Verizon Wireless Monopole, I move to accept and make findings of fact for a special use permit with modifications in the proposed plans as discussed at this planning commission meeting and set forth in the staff report dated July 20th, 2018. And I move to recommend to the Village Board of Trustees to approve the preliminary site plans titled Engineering Site Plan Sheet C1, Fence Details Sheet C3, Site Details Sheet ANT-3, 3A, and Equipment Platform Details Sheet B2, prepared by Terra Consulting Group Limited, dated July 23, 2015, with revisions dated April the 5th, 2018, subject to the following conditions. 1, meet all building and land development code requirements, and 2, obtain the necessary permit from the Village Building Division prior to initiating work. And third and not least, the color of the monopole shall blend with the surrounding environment for visual harmony to meet the section 6-311F of the Land Development Code requirements. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye. And I move to recommend to the Village Board of Trustees to approve the elevation plans titled Site Elevation Sheet ANT1, prepared by Terra Consulting Group Limited, dated July 23, 2015, with revisions dated April the 5th, 2018. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Continue.
And I move to recommend to the Village Board of Trustees to approve a special use permit for a wireless communication facility located at 15100 80th Avenue, the Orland Fire Protection District Station 2 site with the following modifications. 1, a reduction of the side yard setback from 13 feet to 11 and a half. Land Development Code Section 6-311 G3B. Number 2, a reduction of the residential setback from 500 feet to 99 feet. Land Development Code Section 6-311 G3D.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. At this time, I move that we close the public hearings.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Schuessler. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And now I see we have one additional agenda item, so I move that we open the non-public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And the non-public hearing, the other business is item number 2018-0010, memo, new petitions and appearance review. Commissioners, you all had a memorandum attached to your packet, just outlining what's coming down the road ahead of us. I guess at this point, are there any questions for staff?
Yes, I have one.
Commissioner Schuessler?
Orland Ridge, is that the hotels? 16727 LaGrange?
Orland Ridge is the development, which is old site called St. Francis site. So the developer is calling that as Orland Ridge, and it is, the hotel project is a different project. The two
Okay.
hotels we're talking about is a different
So
project.
this is residential?
This is a true mixed use. It has residential, commercial, hotel.
Okay.
The original hotel sites were 163rd, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Anything else from any of the commissioners?
Commissioner Sussler, that Orland Ridge is 171st in LaGrange, northeast corner,
I'm sorry?
across from Grassland, 171st in LaGrange.
No, because this
That's,
says 16727 and 16801 LaGrange.
It's probably the northmost end of that site, which is, this is a 60-plus acre site.
Oh, that's where they were going to build the St. Francis Hospital. Okay.
Exactly,
All
St.
right.
Francis
Got
Hospital.
it. Okay, thanks.
Right.
On the east side,
Yeah.
LaGrange. It's
On the east, yes,
side.
yes, on the east
You
side.
almost think it's Orland Hills.
Exactly.
Well, thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. With that, I move that we close the non-public hearings.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rob. All in favor?
I move we adjourn.
We have a motion by Commissioner Schussler, second by Commissioner Shalaby to adjourn at 7:30 PM. All in favor?
No, 7:34.
I got to get a new watch. It's 7:34.
Trying to cheat for 4 minutes.
It's actually 7:32.
I do this so I arrive at my appointments on time. Okay, thank you. Thank you all.
Sorry about
Taking my thunder.
Actually, I thought he was going to go down the road. No, at least we got the answer.
Yeah.
Chance to go 4 minutes.